Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is entitled At Your Door. It was written by Ellen Eisenwill, Mark Morrison, Barbara Manui, Chris Adams, Scott D. Aniolowski, and Herbert Hike. I'm your game master, and this is episode 16. Our recap will be given by Keith Craig, as his character Heather Mills. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Keith?
Thank you. Diary of Dr. Mills. I started writing this out of boredom. Being locked up in this cage, you find a lot of free time. I woke in this cage with all the others except for Dr. Leach. I don't remember how Margaret and I got here, but my head hurts really bad, so something must have knocked me out. I assume the large woman that is what remains of Jenny is the one that did it. She seems to be cleaning up the cage and making herself look nice, which indicates that she has a little bit of humanity left in her. We tried to play coy and act like it was just the four of us. However, Willie the dog kept making noise. While she was busy feeding Willie, Dr. Leach quickly escaped, and Jenny took off after him when Willie alerted her to it. We attempted to use this as a chance to escape. The others had read the endurance chant and were trying to bend the bars so we could possibly sneak out. Willie, of course, wasn't going to have any of this, and his massive body laid against the bars, keeping us from getting out. As I was looking around the cage, I was horrified to see that there seems to have been other people that were kept in this cage. Scratch marks and blood stains were along the back walls. This does not bode well for us, in my opinion. While Dr. Leach was fleeing, Jenny gave chase. She caught him, unfortunately, near Chuck. She also brought Chuck back, who seems to have had his mind snapped. This makes me a little sad, as I was so distrustful of him, but, he was a good-looking man that was described in the journal. Jenny realized that we had read the endurance chant and decided to do something about this. Since she was a chemist, she was able to whip up some ether and blew it into our cell, which knocked us all out. When we woke up, she was kind and made us breakfast and made sure that we were well fed. She even started to let us move around and let us look at things. There were some rooms that she forbidden. Her bedroom, of course. However, there was a couple rooms that she told us not to go into at all that were locked up. And there's one curious room that has a quick drop-off. She warned us that to go there meant death instantly. I wonder from her or from us, some other strange thing that lives down there. Anyway, the days continued on. I was counting by scratching on the walls. Hopefully no one else finds my scratches and wonders who was in here before. About 2 weeks into it, something different happened. Some strange creature showed up, had an interesting Boston accent, but horrifyingly, it was bringing a coffin that had a new body in it. This creature traded the body with Jenny for another older body that was, I can't be sure, but it seemed to be twitching. Then the creature looked and kind of laughed at us and headed out. I'm starting to lose hope. We need to figure something out. We can't stay here for much longer. Hopefully we can find something.
All right. So, a couple more days go past, and you are still stuck in this cage. Jenny is not... she seems very dedicated to whatever work she might be doing. You catch glimpses now and then of some of the formulas and stuff that she's working on, and they seem bizarre. They seem to be incorporating things like alchemy and other things. And since you already know that one spell works, maybe there's some other kind of spell-related stuff that's in it. But it's not written in English, so you can't verbally copy it. Shortly after it happened, the corpse that Ginny had was dragged somewhere in the back in the cave that you're not aware of. And sometime after that, Ginny returned to her little lab area with kind of a bucket filled with, it looked like white powder of some sort, which she began to analyze. She's been a little more lenient with you guys. She'll let you out during the day. She's warned you that if you try anything funny, there'll be consequences to pay, if not for the person who does it, but for everybody else. So you'd be risking hurting one another if you tried to hide or get away. I don't know. You get the idea. She's used threats before.
Right.
But other than that, she only does it. She doesn't seem to have any malice behind it. She's also acting. Well, she's got kind
Her
of
maternal streak?
I'm sorry?
Her maternal streak?
Well, yeah, that's definitely there. She kind of treats you like children. She still hasn't let you out of the cave, though in the evenings, she sometimes goes outside with Willie and lets him romp around. She leaves you inside.
But not caged?
But not caged.
Hmm.
In fact, that's what's happening right now. She's just gone out with Willie and told you guys not to fool around with anything.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen in her work any of Mother's Milk, have we?
Yeah, you think maybe. You think maybe she does have some of it, but it's not. It doesn't look like it's not in little vials from Don Biazyme or anything like that. She obviously has told you that she has access of her own.
I believe she said that she'd taken it from the source herself.
Correct.
Do I also remember that she only summons the Divine Mother quarterly?
When she feels the need to do so. And right now she doesn't feel the need to do so.
And we've got another week or week and a half at least until the next dark moon.
Yeah.
I am glad she takes Willie out to relieve himself. That'll be something to stump the authorities unless she buries it carefully. I can't imagine. He eats a lot, and I don't imagine he digests it the way an earth dog does.
She's got a very sort of set routine that you've noticed. Mm-hmm. That there is a period of time, sometime in the evening, when she retires to her room, which you've never seen. And sometime after that, you hear that strange crawling noise coming from the walls and ceiling of the cave. But you've never really seen what it is. The closest you can guess is insects.
Right.
It's a very creepy sound. So at the moment, you are alone in the cave with her right outside, outside.
Okay. All right. Do we want to try and get in the one room that, not her bedroom, but there was another room that she told us never to go into?
Well, there's the room that she has blocked off, right, with the large stone. Am I recalling that correctly? Because there's the tunnel that goes down, and that's where she told us never to go.
Yeah, there's the one, like if you were going to the
water room but kept going straight.
Yeah, if you kept going straight, that was the one I was talking about. Yeah.
The one that's blocked off is the one. Oh no, never mind.
There's the water room. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
There is the room next to it, which seems to have very strange stuff on the walls that moves. It looks like letters.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Dancing.
There's the room next to that which she has partly blocked off, and she's told you not to go in there.
Yeah, that's the one I was
And
talking about.
then there's the cliff going down a little bit. It drops about maybe 15 feet down and then starts to level out, but it's rocky and difficult. And it goes somewhere you don't know, off into the darkness.
Right.
Off to Eddie's place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? You know, she was very curious about how Peter died when we mentioned that he might have perished.
Yeah.
Do you think that she's, I mean, trying to bring back the dead?
I think she was concerned about his death because they were lovers at one point.
Right, but
Also, she
I
might
mean,
have
why does she have so many cadavers?
No, I think that's why Eddie's bringing her fresh bodies for sure.
Mhm.
And I thought that thing was moving, even though it was clearly dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
No,
got
I
to be
think-
something with
I
that.
think Jennifer wants to conquer mortality itself.
Well, and perhaps she has Noelle's body back behind there in that room.
Yeah. Want to set up a watch, and like if she comes back, we go have a simple code like, "Hey, what's for dinner tonight?" or something. Kind of.
Or just say hi to Willie.
Yeah, hi to Willie. Yeah, that works. Either one.
How long do these evening strolls usually last?
Probably about an hour.
Okay. Is Jenny's room blocked off where she goes in the evenings?
No, not really.
Yeah, I think
We've been back there?
I think we should take one at a time.
Mm.
I don't think we're in any immediate danger. Let's see if we can get into the room we're not allowed to without disturbing too much and getting caught. And we could take turns, like, who stays near the edge of the lab to be a lookout and who takes the plunge.
Yeah.
But I feel like one chamber tonight is as much as we want to risk because we don't want to make her angry again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Noelle made her angry, I think.
Ugh. All right, I'll take watch.
Okay.
So you're going to go into the
Appendix there.
the chamber up above Jenny's room.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So you get there, and she's got it blocked off pretty well.
Is it like a pile of scree, or is it a big boulder? And
she's got a boulder in front of it. I mean, there you could probably scooch around it. It's of course pitch black in there.
right. What are we? When we woke after she gassed us, we were stripped down to our skivvies. Have we gotten some
Right.
partial recovery of our things?
She's given you, yeah, we'll say that she's given you back your shirt, your clothes, although you have no items.
Mm-hmm.
Your wallets, all of your stuff, your wristwatches, your jewelry, everything is gone.
Poor Dr. Mill's diary is entirely in her head.
That's right.
Not as far gone as Dr. Carlisle, but she's slipping.
Just Tracy on the wall. The Chronicle of Dr. Mills. So the light sources that are in like that lab area, are any of them like portable?
No, they're wires with light bulbs hanging from them that she's put around. You get the
How does she see in there? She goes back there.
Well, Dr. Liege tells you that when he was running from her along the river, that when he saw her, it looked almost like her eyes were glowing.
Oh, that's
So
right.
she might be able to see in the dark at this point.
She has no Bunsen burners in the lab.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she's got lab equipment. So if you can make do in some way with lab equipment.
So it's anything that creates a flame that's portable. Kind of crude, but
It'll work.
All right.
Anyone
Those
here
are the-
good at chemistry?
Dr. Liege's.
Well, maybe next time when he's more awake, we can, if there's any type of chemical that we could mix that would give off a phosphorescent glow.
Yeah, that's more likely to get us caught, I think, than just taking a instrument. I mean, she must have, in addition to Bunsen burners, what else? There are things in labs that emit light in one way or another.
Is there any
You
mirrors?
can do a luck roll. See if there's.
You could also make a torch with half a box of spaghetti, although it'll smell. My luck is lousy.
Yeah, you don't find a flashlight or anything like that.
No laser pointer.
I mean, there'll be matches.
Well,
Any
maybe
matches?
there's like a light switch. Maybe there was a time when she couldn't see in the dark. Oh, we just have to find a light switch.
Do a spot hidden.
That's a pass.
Yeah, you don't find anything.
How's the air around that boulder?
There's definitely a smell.
Is it a smell of decay?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Is it seaweed-like or more like bad meat and maggots?
maybe more like bad meat.
Any sound?
Do a listen roll.
21. That's got to be good.
Okay.
Pass.
Yeah, just a pass.
As you're listening, and if you guys all stand very quietly, you do occasionally hear like a clink, like a bit of metal dragging on the ground, but not dragging very much.
Let's squeeze back out into the hallway in case she comes back suddenly.
Maybe you should yell in there and see if somebody answers.
Yeah, the last time I went into a dark passage in this cave compound, I met Willie. I'm not eager to relive the experience. But sure, Ethan, we'll try that. Psst, anybody in there?
There's no answer.
Not even a clink in reply?
No, the clink doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, something must move around in there and make a clinky sound, a scrapey sound.
Oh, wait a minute. If you said that she might be trying to fight death, maybe that's some undead stuff in there.
Maybe.
I mean, that wouldn't make total sense until
that's
dying on a dog man, but
Yeah, I'm not going in there without a decent source of light or a nice heavy shovel. Or both.
yeah, maybe we leave this on the back burner.
until we can devise a better source of light. Let's just go check out Jenny's room.
I bet she's got porn under the bed.
Maybe.
Giant porn.
It exists. Okay, so we've only spent 10 minutes, 15 minutes on this, and we probably gave 10 or 15 after she left before we started out, so we've got a little time.
Yeah.
Jenny's room is also dark, I'm afraid.
Jenny's room is dark. There's a little more light because the light's kind of spilling in.
Mm-hmm. How's it smell in here?
Well, it has an odd smell, like a little like Jenny has an odd smell, like BO or what you find in there is a kind of a makeshift nest, if you will. Like she's thrown together some mattresses and she's tried to make a comfortable sort of place for her to sleep. But it's ramshackle. There's no frame, obviously, and it's just sort of arranged on the ground, but it's messy. And
Does she keep reading materials?
it doesn't look like it. And from what you know, she goes in there And you don't see her again until the morning.
Or whatever time, since we can rarely tell.
Yeah. Right.
She seems to be a little confused about what time of day things are. And the skittering noise we hear after she retires, there's no sign of that.
Well, do a spot hidden.
39 is good. Regular.
Okay. So you're looking around quickly around her bed, and you do notice a number of large cricket carcasses. Some of them look like they've been squished, maybe by her weight. But there's a few of them here and there.
They're the big brown ones, like we saw.
Big,
Okay.
fat, gigantic things.
And there's the first crevice on the cliffside that we investigated before we stumbled into the lair is
Correct.
attached to this. Can we smell the river? Can we get any light?
Yeah, you can actually see, you can almost see out.
But there's no way we could squeeze through.
No, it's literally about like that. And it's twisty, so you're seeing a little bit outside, but just a sliver. And do a luck roll.
17.
Really good rolls tonight. As you do that, just for a moment, you can see Jenny outside with the dog. And you can vaguely hear her in the distance, and you hear her say, like, all right, come on, Willie, let's go back inside. So you've got a warning.
That was a luck roll as luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, folks, she's coming back. Let's huff it.
All right. Yep.
Let's look casual. We'll be playing whist on the floor.
Mm-hmm. So once they come back around, I look. If I don't see Jenny, I was like, "What'd you find?"
Crickets. Big one dead.
Yeah.
Big, giant.
We saw them all around the stump, or the table rock. They live in it. They're not normal locusts. They're Jenny-fied crickets. I don't know whether she's eating them or they're her familiars or what. There's something in the little room that's moving, but it's pitch black in there, and it smells bad. And it's hard, only one of us could get in at a time, and I'm not sure that there's not some other pet or worse in there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the next time Jenny and Willie have a little stroll, I'm going to take something shiny and small out of the lab and push it out through the little crevice onto the beach, because that is the closest thing I can think of to signaling to somebody that we're in here or that anything's in here. But that's for tomorrow because she's on her way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm increasingly willing to risk. Well, okay. To be honest, I'm not disinterested in Jenny's previous suggestion that I might be able to sample some of the Divine Mother's milk. But that's the only way I can see getting out of here other than as a member of the undead or a sacrifice to the Divine Mother.
She wasn't totally opposed to the reading of her books. She said they were in Latin, but Heather, you know Latin, don't you?
I do. I read.
Well, maybe if you can convince her to let you peruse them. I mean, if that endurance chant thing worked, who knows what else we might be able to find.
Right.
Yeah, I studied a bit of Latin too, so we could possibly work on it together.
Right. Yeah.
At this point,
an invisibility chant.
At this point, you know what's coming. What's coming is you can hear the big rock being pushed out of the way, and all of a sudden there's a drumming noise, and the drumming noise is Willie, who has just relieved himself outside and is bouncing around like a puppy does. You guys all kind of flatten yourselves against the wall because you know if he actually hits you, it's going to be bad. And it takes him a bit to calm down. But Jenny then comes back inside, and she says, "Good, you're all here.
Where else would we be?
Yep, nowhere to go.
And playing our game that's like Bridge that Desmond taught us with the tarot cards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So she says, well, she says, what are you all up to?
I think if I'm counting right, Desmond is winning again.
Soon I'll have all the shiny pebbles.
She says, well, you all have fun playing.
I wish there was something else to stimulate us here because, I mean, how many times can we play a hand of cards?
She suddenly looks over at you, Dr. Ethan, and she smiles. And she says, all right, I have to do my work now. And
you need help?
Well, sure, Dr. Ethan. Why don't you come over here and see if you can help me?
All right, so I'll go follow her.
So, how's your chemistry?
Pharmacology, taxonomy. Yeah, thank you. And ecology.
Do a pharmacology roll.
Yeah. And then I have, medicine. 38 out of 45.
Okay. So you don't understand everything she's talking about, but she's having you assist her analyze this powdery substance that she has. After we'll jump around with time. So
right.
After about an hour of working with her, it's some sort of an organic compound. It seems to be composed of a lot of the elements that you'd expect to find in regular life forms. How should I call this? Do a luck roll.
37 out of 64.
You get the impression that, because you're working with it, with your hands, and because of maybe an accident, you can tell that it's salt. Okay, it's definitely got a salty flavor to it when you accidentally get a little bit on you. And the quantity that she has, it all kind of reminds you of something, but you're not quite sure what.
I mean, I'll ask her flat out, too. What is this?
She says, it's just a compound that we're working with at the moment.
Okay.
You don't need to know.
I'm just interested. Little bored here. Like looking at you, though, but...
Well, they're up to that. We're going to wander over to the library shelves and see what titles in Latin there are.
Well, one of them that you see there is the same one that
Noel had?
Yeah, De Vermis.
Vermis.
Correct. And they're all I'm just concentrate on De Vermis Mysteries, but we'll say that she's got 3 different things there, and they're all printouts. from it looks like NWI at the top of each one of them, different dates.
Right.
And it's reams of dot matrix paper, isn't it?
Very impressive, Dr. Margaret.
Yeah.
If we ever get out of here, I'm going to find these NWI people. Yeah, so Jenny doesn't seem to object to us looking through these materials, right? She's agreed to that.
She's like, if you can read Latin and you want to, you'll learn a lot more about the mother.
You'll learn a lot more.
You'll learn a lot more. I'll just do it in post.
Yeah, between the two of us, Heather, I think we could probably make something of this.
Sure.
Okay, so you
Are
guys
there pencils about? Can we make notes?
Yes. You guys start working on that, and it becomes immediately obvious that it's ponderous. That it's Latin. There's probably some Middle High German thrown in there. It's complex. It'll take quite a while. It's not something that you could do in an hour. It's something that you could do in weeks, maybe.
Right.
We might have the rest of our lives to work on it.
All right. So, how about the rest? Margaret, what do you want to do?
Well, I want to start looking at the materials available. Kind of just looking around while I'm still playing cards with Dr. Liege. And maybe trying to encourage, why am I forgetting his name?
Chuck,
to be less catatonic. Between those two things, I want to try to identify things that might make a good light source.
Okay.
Things like identifying Bunsen burners or other things that would be easily portable and replaced, like we could put it back. And just looking for an optimal thing to have a light.
She also has cooking stuff. So she does have cooking oil, and there are things that you could make wicks out of. So it is possible to create, like an oil lamp.
Oh, well, let's start doing that.
Okay.
Carefully.
Speaking of Chuck, I have a little background in psychology. So I would like to retroactively devote a couple of our idle hours over the last couple of weeks to see if I can, coax him out of his stupor. Determine that he's broken in such a way. I mean, are we feeding him? Because is he really?
Yeah, you're having to feed him. He's almost catatonic, with no real explanation, and you feel that at any moment. He's not physically damaged.
Mm-hmm.
You thought for a while maybe he was, but there's no contusions on his head or anything. That he could snap out of it at any minute. In terms of the game, he's taken a great deal of sanity loss, and
If I use the tarot cards like flash, a memory aid, can I interest him at all in simple games?
Okay, yeah, we'll say that he's slightly responsive,
but he's going to be nonverbal indefinitely.
Maybe, yeah. And Dr. Carlisle?
If and only if I could do it 100%, I wanted to grab a little bit of that powder and maybe stick it in my pocket to show the rest of the guys. Maybe, and I don't know if it's important or not, but if I think I don't have a chance, if she even slightly think she's going to catch me, I won't do it.
No, there are moments when, that shouldn't be that hard. That you could do it when she's not looking at you or looking away, or
right?
Whatever. But you also do notice that she is paying attention to you in a more friendly way.
Then I go right along with it too. Like, oh, let me get that, and graze her pinky or something. And
yeah, she likes that.
playing a dangerous game. But yeah, I saw towards you in that oil lamp.
Yeah, I'll play it up a little too, but
Something else that Dr. Evans and Dr. Mills have noticed is that she pays more attention to Desmond, Ethan, and Dr. Liege than she does to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of figured that.
Yeah, no, she doesn't feel a great sense of sisterhood.
She's probably like all the other ones. Her libido went crazy, and she's not interested in us satisfying it.
All right.
Mhm.
So time marches on. Unless you guys can think of something that the boring day will march on.
Yeah.
And
I mean, unless so with the water room,
mhm.
do we know where the water comes from? Has Jenny?
It seems to just be seeping, like you would find in a. It might be coming from the river or vice versa. It might be an underground river that's feeding the river, and
it's dripping in from the rocks or
no,
rising up.
It's a pool.
Okay.
We don't have anything to. Do we have anything to write with?
Yeah, you have stuff to write with.
Yeah.
During these moments where Jenny's enamored with Dr. Carlisle's assistants, if there are like empty bottles that are like going to be recycled or something, if we can fashion something like a bottle with a note, weigh it down, and actually like get it to sink down there, I'm wondering if it will get carried off to wherever it will go.
Well, the water doesn't seem to like be flowing.
It's not really moving. Okay.
It's fresh, but it's not really flowing. It's probably coming up from underneath.
Okay.
When she sends us to fetch water, does she provide us with a light source then?
Yeah, there's light. There's light that she's got in that room.
Oh, that's got an extension cord over to it.
Correct. And there's one that goes into that sort of the wall with stuff written on it, but there's not one that goes into the room she doesn't want you to go in.
But with the material that we have, with like the bottles and the cooking oil and some things.
Yeah, you can put something together.
Yeah, we'll make a little oil lamp.
Is there candles?
No.
Okay.
But there are Bunsen burners, you know that. She's actually got a supply of stuff, even I said cooking oil, but she's obviously got a supply of fuel for the Bunsen burners.
Right. Yeah.
Which is probably kerosene, or I don't know what they use.
Yeah, it's a little more dangerous than I want.
I bet you Dr. Liege knows what they would use.
Yeah.
If you could get tin can and even some paper rolled up, you could dip it into that. You can get a short like candle out of it, like not candle but oil lamp type thing for a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe if we were to soak some pasta in the oil for a couple days too, we could light that and it would burn for longer than it would by itself, and we could manage to make a couple of little torches without making anything too smelly or obvious or burning ourselves.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'll give the rest of the doctors the powder that we were working with. I know it's obviously a little contaminated from being in a pocket, but at least they can, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we haven't seen the dynamite, right?
No, you're pretty well. You guys have seen. She has a detonator.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the detonator, and from where the wires go, you're pretty sure it goes all the way out into that front cavern, and she's got it up in the ceiling, so she can bring the whole thing down.
Right.
And seal you guys off completely if she needed to. She doesn't seem interested in doing that.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
That's maybe her last resort.
Okay.
So it's still early evening. You guys are all doing whatever you're doing. I would like Well, let's see. Dr. Ethan, you are flirting with Jenny and working on some of the chemical analysis that she's going through. Dr. Margaret, well, Dr. Heather and Dr. Desmond, you guys are reading this ponderous tome. It hurts your head as you're trying to figure it out. And some of the things, some of the little bits and pieces that are saying, they're not going to cause you sanity loss yet, but they're pretty weird.
Yeah.
Especially if she's using this to actually, it seems far-fetched and nonsensical, some of it, but why is she using it then? There must be something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Margaret, you've planned and you've gotten your stuff, and you guys really have access all the way to the water room anytime. You go get water, so you're not always right in front of where she is. You can also go the other way. You can go out towards the big boulder. You can't get through it.
Right.
So if you wander around, she's not going to stop you.
Yeah.
And she is distracted right now with Dr. Carlisle.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wander some more, mill about, creating my oil lamp.
When you go, past where the lab is and you're wandering around there, you're pretty sure that the slight cold breeze that's in the caves usually have a little bit of wind going on because they breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely coming from the larger passage that you guys are not supposed to go down because there's a cliff dropping down. You suspect that the cave is much larger in that direction, that this is probably just the smaller end of maybe a larger cave system. And it's echoey in that direction as well.
Interesting. That would be something to go explore at some point, but I don't have a light source really ready to go.
Right.
Check down that way.
You also, just from standing there and looking, you think it's navigable. That you could go up and down the little cliff. It'd be a little tricky, but there's enough rocks sticking out, and if that's the way you want it to go.
Well, and she's warning us not to go down there, but I'm not sure if that's because she's more concerned for our safety or for her. If there's a way out back there.
Do a spot hidden roll for me.
36 is a hard success.
Okay. So as you're staring there, sort of pondering what might be off there in the darkness, you hear a noise. Kind of a weird, loud, skittery noise for just a couple of seconds. Like something climbing over rocks or something, but it sounds like something's coming from that direction.
Do I have my light available to use right now?
Not really. I mean, you're getting a little bit of residual light from behind you, but you can't see anything.
And I can't. So I'm just gonna whisper like, "Hello."
All right. When you do that, there is another odd sort of skittering sound, and something maybe 30 or 40 feet from you in the dark starts moving towards you, and it looks like some sort of ginormous insect, like maybe a gigantic cricket. And it's slowly moving towards you. You can't see it really clear, but there's definitely multiple arms and things. It's a lot bigger than you are.
I want to let it keep coming up a little bit
Okay.
until I can see it.
It's red, sort of in color, and part of it almost seems now like it's glowing and changing colors. It's definitely like a large insect cricket thing, and it has enormous claws on it and pinchers, and it's moving towards you.
I'm going to start moving back.
Okay.
If I can lure it up. I kind of want to do that.
Well, I want you to do a sanity roll, because...
Yeah. That's a fail.
Okay. Do a 1d4.
2.
Okay. Just as you're standing there, the thing sort of leaps a little bit. It seems to unfurl some sort of wings, and it lands just at the bottom of the cliff, about to leap once again up towards where you are.
I'm going to start backing up.
Okay. At this point, if it leapt again, it could land right on top of you.
I'm moving back faster.
So you're going to run back?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you suddenly come running back into the lab area. Everybody, you all notice Dr. Margaret seemingly terrified of something.
Is it following me still?
You can hear something. It's definitely probably coming up behind you, or coming. It's not behind you because you're running kind of half backwards.
Yep.
But yeah, it's coming.
I'm going to sit there and watch for it. See what it does.
Okay. You guys all notice that Dr. Margaret seems to be scared of something. What's
going on, Margaret?
And it's not Jenny.
Bug.
Bug.
Good.
Yeah. They live in caves.
So, as you're all sort of focused your attention now on that, and Jenny is still working on she's making notes in her thing. She's not paying attention to any of you. Coming up the passage and turning the corner, kind of halfway into the lab, is a thing, a creature. It stands about 9 feet tall. It has multiple insect crab-like arms on it, and it has an enormous sort of thing that looks kind of like a brain that is rippling in different colors, and it's sort of shuffling its feet. You can see that it has wings, but they're folded back, and it steps into the room. You can all do sanity rolls.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Told you. Bug.
01.
Nice.
That's nice.
Fail.
Fail.
Dr. Ethan, with your
Yeah, the bug.
you just suddenly grab a hold of Jenny's arm.
Jenny, get behind me. I'll protect you.
And those of you who failed, do a 1d4.
I still take 1, right?
Yeah, you can take 1.
Yeah. I'm down to 27.
Down to 18. Ah! What the crap?
Well, as the thing comes into the room, and you Dr. Ethan, you've grabbed a hold of Jenny, and she's like, Ethan, what are you doing? She looks over and sees it, and she goes, "Well, that's just Dr. Quiz."
Who?
Dr. Quiz.
Yeah, and the thing sort of lumbers into the room. She says, "It's a Miko.
Miko. Crazy.
They're from another planet."
Amigo as in friend in Spanish?
No. She says language. She says, gentlemen, ladies, this is Doctor. It's unpronounceable in English, but Quinn. And she says, Dr. Quiz. And the thing
of what?
Well, the thing steps into the room and it starts moving towards her and it goes,
Jenny, I see you have visitors.
This strange, metallic, mechanical sounding voice.
Are there moving mouth parts?
Sort of, maybe. Now that you look at it, it looks like it has some sort of an apparatus. It's hideous. It's terrifying. You can do another sanity roll, I think.
Yeah.
Dr. Quiz. Oh, damn, fail.
Failed that one.
I passed.
Failed.
If you failed, do another 1d4.
I only got one the first time, so it's really only fair.
Dr.
4
Margaret,
points.
You can just take
Ouch.
1.
Mhm.
Okay.
Boy.
You took 4 points. You're pretty damn friggin' scared of this thing.
Yeah.
I have brought what you requested of me, Jenny.
And she's like, good. You put it there on the table. And the thing unpacks this little sort of box. It's multiple shaped, like some sort of a polyhedron, and sets it down and opens up one of the little panels and removes these crystals. They're yellow, and sets them on the table. And he says,
Per our agreement, may I take a specimen of your blood?
and she's like, sure.
If
And
that thing comes close, I'm running around the.
it's very menacing, and it seems to be. I mean, it's like seeing a giant cockroach.
Yeah.
It moves towards her and it pulls out some sort of a strange metallic instrument, and she holds out her arm for it, and it proceeds to draw a pint of blood.
Mm.
And then it takes the blood and it produces a kind of a jar that has some sort of an odd liquid inside of it. And it pours some of the blood into this thing. And you suddenly see this odd liquid begin to mutate and grow little arms and little legs and stuff like that. And it holds it up and it goes,
Interesting.
and packs it away somewhere.
These new specimens of yours, do they represent some success on your part?
And she's like, don't talk about that in front of them.
Oh, I don't understand why I shouldn't.
She's
No, we're not successful. We're not successes.
she's like, they're people who intruded, and now I'm holding them prisoner.
I don't completely understand. May I take a specimen of their blood?
She's like, that's up to them.
What do you have in return? You gave Jenny something.
It immediately turns towards you, Dr. Margaret, and then begins to advance towards you because you spoke to it.
I'm going to do my best to hold very, very still. Be brave.
You are a female of the species, like Jenny, though not mutated in any way.
That is correct.
Are you pregnant?
No, that I'm aware of.
Please extend your arm.
All right, screw it.
You don't have to obey.
Well, what will you bring for me if I let you take this?
What do you require?
A weapon. No.
That can easily be arranged.
Yeah.
Something that can kill you. No, and was it communications device? A way to contact?
Well, Jenny can hear you.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
She's like, yeah,
No. The Miko don't have anything that you would want, Margaret.
They have anything to help translate these books in a speedier way? So we could all learn about the Great Mother or whatever it's called?
You're not sure if the thing turns towards you or if just parts of it turn towards you, but it says,
That is a possibility.
Yeah, if we could get something like that, then sure.
A translation device. It shall be difficult. I won't be able to obtain it until I return from Yugoth.
Okay, and how long will that take?
17 of your cycles.
Days?
17 solar cycles.
Oh.
That's not bad.
So when you say solar cycle, do you mean the sun rising and setting, or do you mean rotations around our nearest star?
I think you say years? No. Days.
Days? Oh.
But I would need a blood sample from each of you.
Okay.
Such equipment is not easy to come by.
I'm not pregnant either, so.
so you let it take samples from you.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Gotta get something going. That book seems like a viable option at this point.
The only hope I had was going down there, and if that's where there are these things, then that's out of the question. So
while it is busying itself in a very oddly terrifying and clinical manner, extracting blood samples from you, putting them into little jars, seeing how the reaction is, and then saying,
Very interesting.
do any of our blood samples make little homunculi?
no. While that's going on, Ginny keeps asking Dr. Quiz questions. They sound like chemical and alchemical sort of questions. She's talking about certain rituals, you think, proper pronunciation of certain words that she's not sure of. She's definitely up to something. And they keep talking about her success at what she's trying to achieve, but she's made it clear to Dr. Quiz that she's not wanting to discuss it with you. And shortly after, and Dr. Quiz has left her certain crystals, certain yellow crystals that you can all do an idea roll.
Oh, 4.
Gosh, no.
99. Those are like food.
Dr. Ethan wants to lick them.
Normal pass for me.
Dr. Margaret, and Dr. Desmond. Dr. Mills, did you pass?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Dr. Evans and Dr. Flores, they look very similar to crystals you saw at Don Biazine around the pit.
Huh.
And shortly after that, the Migo, the doctor, leaves. Goes
Well,
back.
before he goes,
Mhm.
as I'm just gonna, you said you were going with Yagoth. Is that further down in the cave?
Yogoth. Says,
Yeah.
Yogoth is the 9th planet in your solar system. Not really a planet, a large asteroid.
Really? Last I heard, it was a planet, but smart.
It is merely what do I want to say? It's a jumping off point.
An outpost.
It's an outpost.
Ah.
You have a base on the 9th satellite?
Yes,
But
Yogoth.
but it's so cold and far.
That is of no consequence.
I'm going to take another sanity check.
We often traverse this amount of space.
Oh. Are you able to take others with you?
Yes.
Oh. Have you? Personally?
No.
Oh. That would be fascinating if I ever get a chance to go.
We shall consider candidacy for your contribution
Oh. Hopefully
at a future date. You are still young.
Thank you. Thank you. I haven't heard that in a long time.
And the thing turns and shuffles towards the darkness.
This place
I'm
is a
going to spend
madhouse.
the rest of the night curled up next to Chuck with my palms pressed into my eyes, rocking back and forth. Thanks.
Hot damn, Jenny, you are friends with aliens. This is like, the more I know about you, the more intriguing this is. This is like, there's a dog guy, a giant puppy, aliens. Like, how much better can this get?
She sort of leans over to you, Ethan, smiling in that sort of seductive sort of smile. And she says, "What if I told you that they've been here longer than humans have?"
I always had a thought about that, but you got to tell me more about this. Like, seriously.
I think I'm going to go join Dr. Flores and the eye pressing in the corner.
Jenny seems distracted. You guys all have your dinners, and she neglects to lock your cage when she retires to bed.
Now, is she a snore? Can we hear her snore from
No.
our cage? No. Dang.
Okay. If more of whatever that thing was is what's down there, they seem reasonable enough.
Yeah.
We can talk to them. Perhaps they'll show us the way out.
I mean, we're not making any progress here. Where's
Unless you
what?
want to wait 17 days for a translator device where we can learn some kind of thing from that book.
No.
Does Yoli sleep next to Mom?
Yes, Willie does go into her room.
If we can, we know I very quietly, of course. Yeah, they seem intelligent, but they're also in cahoots. I mean, Eddie the Ghoul seemed intelligent too, but he isn't going to betray Jenny. But if we can get out of the cave and go in 4 different directions, it took her a little while to find Dr. Liege, 5 different directions. I mean, we'd have to leave Chuck behind, but I'm afraid Chuck's already been left behind. She probably won't even punish him.
Well, is the detonator, is it like bolted into place or?
No, it's sort of sitting on a shelf
Okay.
next to her desk.
I'm picturing like a cartoon plunger.
Yeah, but
okay.
it's smaller. It's a
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But it's directly wired. It's not a radio device.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. But we could set something up where. I don't know. That might be more work because I was thinking if we get out and we blow that entrance, she'd have to dig her way out too.
I mean, how do we do that and then get out?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, one of us would have to stay behind and
So, I mean, how much access do we have to the chemicals right now?
Well, she didn't lock you up, so you've pretty much got access.
What if we do what she did to us?
we need a lot of ether. We did
That's
a lot
true.
of ether. We probably couldn't even survive the smallest fume of what would knock her out.
That's probably true. Unless we can create.
Anti-giant juice is what we need. Something that's specific to her. And I don't have the chemistry. I have some toxicology, but I don't know what's toxic to her. She could probably drink sulfuric acid and gargle. No, I think it's just, if we split up, then one of us is not going to get picked up before whatever time one of us reaches somebody that can call. And once we get a SWAT team here with, the resources of full wilderness.
I am going to say something for Dr. Leash. As you're planning this, Dr. Leash says, I have one question, is when she came and got me, how did she leave the cave?
She didn't go through the front door. She went out the back somewhere. The cave leads out somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only one possible place for that back door to be. It's down that place where the
I say that we go. If we find full wilderness, we come back here, we shut all this down. And then maybe if somebody's here in 17 days to collect that translator device, I mean, we paid for it.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got how many little bundles of oil-soaked pasta now?
That's what I was doing like all day.
A little bit.
So.
All right. Well, let's get some water.
Making
Let's
the
go.
oil lamps, yeah.
All right. So,
I mean, dying in an escape attempt is not the worst thing that can happen to us.
No.
A couple of bucks of matches, so as much water as we can comfortably carry.
Unless we're super curious and we want to take a quick peek at what she's doing behind that in that other room, but I don't think that's.
I think that's.
I think we know what's kind of up.
Yeah, I think that's just dead
And
bodies.
It's very close to her bedroom too. We have to sneak past her chamber anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, the thing I just want to get out of here. We're
Yeah.
die trying at this point. So
Let's do it. Let's go.
Hey, should we all read the chant first?
do we have the
Oh, we
chant?
don't have it. When she stripped us, I'm sure we lost that.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
took it.
And none of us committed it to memory. So
No. All right. I'll go fill up some water bottles.
okay.
Avoiding looking at the walls because they creep me out.
All right. So, Dr. Mills, you're going to go to the water room to get water?
Yep.
As you are, you haven't gone there yet. You're actually getting to the point where you need to go past Jenny's room. You become aware of that rustling, creakling noise all around you. And if you guys aren't in your cage, but you're nearby, you also start to hear it. And Dr. Mills, you suddenly realize that through every little crack and crevice that you can see, those giant crickets are crawling into the cave. They all seem to be heading towards Jenny's room.
What the hell? Oh, I avoid them, and I keep going because if they're going in there, they've been going in there. I'm gonna think she's a sound sleeper, and they're gonna be making noise too.
You almost can't avoid them because they're all over the floor back here too.
Right.
They're coming from the water room, from the crevasse, from the crevice.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere. Tons and tons of them. And you hear coming from Jenny's room what sound like low moans.
We hear them every night going in one direction.
Yeah,
We never hear them coming the other direction.
correct.
I fear for what they're doing. Let's get out of here.
Maybe Big Jenny's lactating now too.
Oh, that's so horrible to think.
Yeah, but she should be distracted.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so you've gotten some water. You've made your way back. And on the way back, most of the crickets have now gone. You can see that they've gone into her room. And do a listen roll for me.
No, 96.
All right. So you don't hear any noise. You don't hear any snoring or anything like that. But you managed to get back past the room. And you've now rejoined everybody. So you've got your water.
Yep.
What's your next move?
Oh, so get the oil lamp, and we're gonna go down into the cave. Unless Dr. Leash can think of any pertinent chemicals that may or may not help in a
I'm going to
south
pocket a yellow
type of
crystal.
smoke screen type of situation.
Okay,
'Cause
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
a chemist.
Which direction are you going? Are you going in the direction you haven't gone?
Right. That's
Yeah.
Down where Dr.
Yep.
Quiz came from.
Okay.
And if we have, I think a wet paper towel, wet with water paper towel holding onto a bunch of pasta that's soaked in oil for each of us.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to grab one of those yellow crystals and put it in my pocket on the 0.2% chance that we survive tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, everybody do a climb roll.
I'm gonna spend 10 points of luck to pass.
Okay.
I don't have that much luck.
Yeah.
So Dr. Heather and Dr. Desmond, if I understand, you didn't make your rolls.
That's correct.
You get kind of stuck where you can't climb back up again and you can't quite climb down without risking a fall. Would fall far, but it's all sharp rocks and the difficulty. Dr. Ethan, he manages to scramble down without any trouble. Dr. Margaret, you also. So Dr. Margaret and Dr. Ethan, you are just below where Heather and Dr. Flores are. And
You want to catch them together?
Okay.
I'm trying to see how they got down, but it's so dark. It's a little sputtery torch.
I have a fairly good climb. Can I assist them somehow?
Sure. Do your climb roll.
I have 60 in climbing. I'm an outdoors, Ooh, I failed that one. But I could
So
use
you
two luck points.
Okay. So who are you going for? Dr. D or Dr. H?
Whoever's closest to me, actually. So,
All right. Well, just pick one.
Desmond first, and then.
All right. So you grab a hold of Desmond, and
He's dead.
you can see where his foot should have been, and you sort of help him position himself. And then Dr. Desmond climbs down. So Dr. Heather is still kind of stuck. Dr. Margaret, did you want to do anything?
Explore.
Yep. I'm going.
Okay. Well, let's just say after a few seconds of struggling, you guys all managed to get down there.
Right.
And you notice when you do that there are a couple of little side passages that don't seem to go anywhere, followed by another drop down, and then another, and then another. And you can feel it in your ears that the cave is opening up into a very large area. And thank goodness you've got your little candles, because when you take a few steps forward, you realize that it looks like there's another drop down area, except that there is no bottom to it.
Mm.
You're standing on a cliff, and there is a bottomless pit, at least as far down as you can see.
Right.
You can't see. It's pitch black down there.
Mm-hmm.
You can scoot around on the cliff a little bit to either side, but...
So if this isn't the way out, where did she go? Is there an alternate entrance, you think, in that closed off room?
Possibly, but... Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna toss a rock from the edge into the pit.
Okay.
Here, listen for what happens.
It takes a long time before you hear it hitting the sides of something on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Big Jetty can't. I mean, maybe it's only 20 feet across, and she could just jump from one side to the other since she doesn't need light. Maybe
Yeah.
Dr. Quiz flew up here on those weird wing-ish things. I'm going to scramble up this scree here and see if I could find anything on that passage that led off to the left as we were descending.
Nothing. Nothing in particular. But do a spot. You can do a spot hidden for me.
50 is a success.
92.
42.
Okay. Those of you who pass, you start to notice little bits and pieces of evidence that Jenny does come here, possibly regularly. There's definitely places where you can see her footprints in the dirt and dust. But you don't have any clue why.
All right, well, let's go pack up, I guess, and
Didn't
check.
that dog creature
room.
come from this way also?
Yeah, Eddie. Eddie came up. He's got a civilization down here, he said, that you can join if you'll just eat dead bodies. I'm gonna try to throw a stone rather than down across.
Okay.
To see if it's just, if the deep thing is not far across.
Do a strength roll.
Whoa, 50 on the dot.
Okay. Well, you throw a rock pretty hard, and you definitely hear it hit the far wall. But the far wall's a ways away. It's, in fact, if you strain your eyes really, really strongly, you can see a bit of light reflecting on the back wall. But it doesn't look like there's a cliff or a cave or anything over there.
All right, well, let's check her other lab.
Let's not push our luck too much either.
No, I mean, who knows? Yeah, reprisals. So
Yeah.
carefully
We
back
might not
up.
we might not get another chance like this though. So if we're gonna check it out, we have the light, we have the time.
Well, I'm thinking if in the morning I conveniently tell her that she left the gate open and we're still here, maybe we might get more freedom.
Yeah, I don't know how to anticipate how she'll respond to anything. She talks to people from Pluto.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
It's weird. Pretty cool.
How do you meet both an alien and a ghoul? Is there some sort of personals ad?
I don't know, but I want to join that club. That's like,
You
come on.
know, guys,
Not the
there's
ghoul club.
dynamite in here.
I know.
If we could get to it.
Yeah, it's by the entrance. We just put it by her bed, blow her the hell up. And that damn dog too. All right. Well, also before we leave the bottomless pit, I'm of course going to do a once over along the walls, make sure that we're not missing anything.
Well, you find areas, especially in this part of the cave, that you could get yourself into that she wouldn't be able to reach. They don't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe if you squeezed, you might be able to go somewhere, but you could also get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather be squished than starve to death at a crack in a cave.
I think if that dog creature comes back too, we should try and fish it for a little more information too, because obviously, I mean, I don't think he's crawling down a bottomless pit with a casket either. So there's got to be something.
I mean, I don't know much about the dog creature, but who knows? Maybe he does crawl away.
Maybe we should just try the boulder front door. Well, we have this, this moment.
Yeah, we need to try every avenue that we can, because I don't care if she gives us more freedom than what we have, because right now we're in just captivity.
See,
if we can escape.
My thought is this: the other boulder that doesn't move, if each night you go over there and dig a little of because it's not a solid bottom, there was like dirt and rocks and a little sand. Each day, if you take a couple cups full of the debris out, you might be able to get enough where you guys could squeeze out underneath it.
Right, but I mean, who knows if she's just going to continue to leave the cage unlocked. This would be a one-time thing.
No, but you could still do that during the day. Well, I'm thinking if even during the day, that part isn't like off bounds to us, basically. If we all took turns going to the bathroom or whatever and took a handful and threw it and then joined back 15 minutes later, another handful.
She goes through that with Willie every day.
No. The other boulder on the southern. Can you bring up the map one second?
No. That lab, we can get into it. We can already slip in there. Can't we?
There's two exits. One has a big boulder that you can't squeeze past. The other one is a boulder that she moves every day. The southern one.
I don't see what other boulder.
It's just a little squeeze entrance. Okay.
Yeah, and that's too small for us to get through.
All right, I thought there was a boulder there, but maybe we could still check it out and see if we could dig.
That's Jenny's room.
That's Jenny's room.
Oh, it's through Jen. All right. I was mistaken. I thought there was a boulder, two boulders. That's why. Okay. Scratch everything.
Unless we all. Well, here's a thought. If we all climb into these places where she can't see into and can't reach,
she'll sniff us out.
That's probably true.
So
unless she just thought we escaped somehow.
She'll
We
send the
need to move
dog
the
to
boulder for
sniff
that
us.
too.
If Willie's trained enough to do that, just because it's a dog doesn't mean that it's
Yeah,
good at
but
that.
I mean, we could sit and hide in a dark cave without food, without water. We can hang out with a, I don't know.
No, I mean, if 3 of us could move the boulder on the way in, 5 of us could move the boulder on the way out.
Yeah.
And if we don't go in the same direction, she's not going to catch us all.
All right,
Right.
so I mean, let's just
Well,
just
first
go
thing
for
we
the
got,
entrance.
we got to do is get back up these cliffs, and Desmond and I had a hard time climbing down.
I mean, we
Oh.
could all work together and climb out. It's, we're not
It's actually
stuck.
easier going up because you were looking at what's in front of you.
Right. I won't make you roll climb rolls. You climb down, you know how difficult it is. You climb back up, and Dr. Carlisle, do an idea roll.
12.
All right. I'll send you a message. So you guys are moving back up the passage, and Dr. Ethan is kind of lagging a little bit behind. What do you guys want to do? You're not really noticing that either.
So we have to put out our torches before we go past Jenny's room, and go by listening very closely and hoping we don't hear anything that causes further damage to our psyches.
Yeah.
And then meet up on the other side of the lab to discuss whatever forward motion is possible.
Okay. So Dr. Ethan, do a spot hidden roll.
16.
Okay.
Which is hard, not extreme.
Go ahead and do a sanity roll as well.
That's going to be a fail. Yep, 32 out of 23, so I failed.
Okay. You can roll 1d4 sanity. You don't have to. It's not happening yet, but
Okay.
all right. As the 3 of you, 4.
Ow.
As the 3 of you go back into the lab area,
Mm-hmm.
you notice that Dr. Ethan is not with you. And you've got light, so when you sort of look to see where he's gone, you can see Dr. Ethan peeking into Jenny's area. He's right at the entrance, and he's sort of looking.
Where are you?
Look, maybe he did
It's
get
Dr.
the
Carlisle.
What? Fuck.
And then all of a sudden, you see Dr. Carlisle just drop his arms to his side and take a step back, and he starts shaking all over, and then he comes running to where you guys are.
What's going on?
Hold on.
Pull him along closer to the far side of the lab so that we can brace him and talk without immediately waking our captor.
Okay, so he's...
What is it, Ethan? Does he look damaged anyway? Are there locusts on him?
Those creatures are crawling in her mouth, and her stomach is expanding, and her eyes are glowing. I'm down to 19 points, by the way.
What?
Don't know if she's eating them or they're eating her, or
we know she's healthy,
like,
and we know that they go in every night. They
And
go in every night. We never hear them come back.
You've never seen her eat.
She's fed us, but she doesn't eat it.
Well, I think we found out her food source, but look, let's see if we can get out of here, okay, Dr. Carlisle?
Oh.
Let's get out of this before They go inside us at night.
Ugh,
Is
awful.
there any way that the 5 of us can budge the entrance?
Oh. Yeah, when we go into the entrance, I'm going to look around. I'm going to actually look for this dynamite. Is it actually embedded in the walls, or?
You can't see it.
Okay.
The ceiling is too high up.
If we can move the boulder,
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay behind and detonate it, and you guys will be able to get away.
Yeah, just convince Chuck
Or
to
she
do it.
she has another. She got out a different way the last time. We don't know where it is, but
Right.
still might confuse her a ton. But
So
Are there any tools and any objects in the lab that we could use as pry bars at all?
Not really. Dr. Mills do an idea roll.
No, 97.
Okay.
Let's just lean into it.
Well, since Dr. Liege originally escaped, she's kind of made a groove for the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you had a lever of some sort, there's no way you can move that.
Okay.
She's made it so that you can't really even dig under it anymore.
Hmm.
She can move it.
Yeah.
there was broken pieces of furniture and couches and stuff, right?
Yeah, she cleaned all that up.
Oh,
In fact, now you're starting to guess it makes sense because she would go deeper into the cave. She probably was tossing it all in the pit.
does she have a chair that she sits on, or a stool, or she stands at the workbench?
Well, let's say, yeah, that's a good question. We'll say that she's got a kind of a bench or a big box or something that she'd have to sit on because it wouldn't be otherwise.
A boulder. She gets a bigger one every couple
Yeah.
of weeks as she grows.
right, if we can't move this, I mean, there might be another exit out through the room we haven't checked. At this point, our options feel rather limited, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check that room.
You mean the room where the bad thing smells?
The bad smell and the clanking. Yep.
Well, we could at least look in with our torches. We could get some fresh pasta. I don't think we should go in without looking in.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jenny's occupied. Literally.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right.
Hey, Ethan, were the locusts bothering Willie?
He couldn't really see Willie. It was dim.
Okay. Torches away.
All right. So you managed to get over to where the forbidden room is. And like I say, there's enough room where you think you can squeeze around whatever she's blocked it with. But who's going first?
I will. That was my idea.
Okay. And you're small, so you can squeeze through pretty well. Are the rest of you going to follow, or are you going to talk back and forth around the rock?
Maybe we should wait just a moment in case she needs to run back through.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Margaret, it takes a few minutes for your eyes to adjust. You've got your candle. The room is not particularly large. Across the room, chained to a wall, is a body. It looks male. It is naked. But it's also partly decayed. Do a spot hidden for me.
45 is good.
Okay. When you look closer at it, and you can see that it is moving, and it turns a bit where you get a better look at it, you realize that its right arm is coming out of the center of its chest, and that its left arm is kind of bent backwards and seems to be melded with its side. Its face is all wrong. The nose is over to one side. The whole thing is deformed, and part of it is decayed. And you can tell that that's where the smell comes from. You also notice that there are a number of beakers, large beakers, that are set, 2 or 3 of them that are set on just an available rock. And that's what you see. But you don't see any way out.
Okay, so where on earth does she go?
The thing seems to be unaware of you, too. It's making low sort of moaning noises and just sort of moving.
Does the thing in the beakers, does that look like the milk?
It looks like the white powder that was brought out earlier.
In all of them?
Yeah.
In all the beakers?
Yeah.
Huh.
About the same amount.
Okay.
Couple of pounds, maybe.
What?
Don't leave us behind.
There's nothing. There's no way out.
Fuck, all right.
There's just some animated looking corpse thing, as kind of what we expected, and just a couple of beakers. There's nothing else in here.
All right, come on.
Yeah, all right, I'll leave.
Let's regroup.
Okay.
All right.
How are our handmade torches doing?
They're sputtering.
So back in the lab, we need to destroy evidence of them. And think about whether we want to make our way back down there and just throw ourselves into that infinite hole.
That doesn't sound like such a bad idea. There doesn't seem to be any way out of this.
I mean,
Unless Dr. Carlyle can convince her to all let us just go on a nice nature walk because of love.
worst case, we could wait for that alien to bring back the translation device. We've already figured out. Well, we didn't figure it out
we're assuming Jenny's going to let us keep it, if it even brings it back.
because
And assuming we survive another 17 cycles.
17 days is 17 days, but if we're reading it to find out more about the mother, I don't think she'll have a problem. Maybe there'll be something in there that you guys could get out with.
You keep saying you guys.
Yeah,
Planning to come with us?
no, I there's too much to learn here. I'm not gonna rat you guys out to her. I'm trying to help you get out of here, but I mean, aliens, dogmen, talking dogs, giant hot woman.
I see where you're coming from. I guess at this point, I mean,
And I'm not looking too
I'm just
great
baffled
either.
that we can't. I mean,
There's everybody other than Dr. Ethan do an idea roll, a POW roll.
Power roll?
I passed the power roll.
Pass power roll.
Power, not intelligence?
A POW, right?
No.
Well,
Failed by a little.
Dr. Desmond, the stuff she's working on looks kind of fascinating. You? You almost sympathize with Dr. Ethan that maybe you wouldn't mind staying for a while and seeing what's going on. The other two of you are like, yeah, you want to get out of here.
Yeah. No.
Dr. Margaret and Dr. Heather do psychology rolls.
No, because I don't have psychology. 57.
I'll spend a couple luck to pass.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Mills, you're starting to recognize serious signs of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in Dr. Ethan, a little bit in Dr. Desmond. And you're starting to think that if you guys stay here, the longer you stay here, the worse it might start to get.
Right. So how do we get out of here, Heather?
I'll assist you in any way I can to get you out of here. I'm not gonna rat you out to her, but I've already made that decision. I'm staying.
Look, we're a bunch of scientists in a lab.
We are.
What
Yeah.
can we do?
I don't know. I mean, the only room we haven't looked at hard is that room where the walls move.
Dr. Heather, do a idea roll.
Do you think it has something to do with the stuff that was moving back in our barn?
Yeah, I do.
Wait a
Extreme.
second.
That's what I was going to say.
What if
Yeah.
we move through it? What if it's a game? As insane as that sounds.
Nothing's insane anymore.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's pull it. Yeah.
Yeah, because she has to go
Screw it,
get the
let's
food
go.
she orders.
Yeah. Well, she left it other way. That's the only other possible thing.
From what Dr. Leash told you, she suddenly appeared up on the ridge where the house was. So if she actually used that as some sort of a gate, she would have come out inside of the garage.
Okay. Well, let's try to move through it.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is you told me about this. There was something in the garage opposite the house that was horrible, and it's like these.
Very similar. Yeah.
Let's try it.
It's very scientific there, Dr. Carlisle.
All right. Well, if you go into that room, once again, you have to kind of sneak past the Ginny area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the idea of looking in there and seeing her eating or being filled with bugs.
It's too horrible.
So you see the place on the wall where this is, but for all intents and purposes, it looks like a solid wall.
Well, I'm going to touch it
You're going to touch it.
with intention, like
Force on
just
it?
go like I'm going to move through it.
All right.
At this point, I don't know what else. Just
Do a luck roll.
31. It's a pass.
How good of a pass?
Normal.
So you put your hands against it, and it kind of freaks you out because what you're seeing these letters moving on the walls, but the wall feels as solid as stone under your hands.
Think.
Or now they're letters, right?
Right. Some foreign language, though.
Can we pronounce
Good.
it?
Yeah,
Perhaps?
just try and
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be a language that you recognize.
okay. Take
So what exactly was it like in the garage?
Very much the same.
yeah.
And what happened with it?
Nothing. He just noticed it, and it kind of freaked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it freaked us out. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like it. Ugh.
I'm going to try tracing the letters with my fingers.
Okay. Do a luck roll.
01. 52.
All right. So you start tracing the letters out, and as you're touching the wall, the letters keep wiggling away from your fingers. So you end up sort of trying to chase them around.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, kind of like that. But nothing happens.
And this room's illuminated. And they're incised in the wall, or are they written on the wall?
They seem to be floating over the surface of the wall. Almost like as if you were looking at a projection.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pass my hand under them?
Sure.
And they appear on my skin?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, if that's what you're saying, no. They're on the wall.
Can I just try and throw it open like a curtain?
Sure. Do a luck roll.
78 fell.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I look at the opposite wall. Are there also letters on that wall?
No. It seems to be an area, like a rectangle on the wall. As you recall, it was a rectangle in the other place too, behind a big poster.
Right.
Can you stand in it so it kind of you said it's like a projection, so can you walk into it and just stand in the middle? No?
Well, you can try walking into it.
Try and walk into it and just stand there. Maybe it takes a second to
do a luck roll.
07.
07. So you don't take any damage when you bang your head on the wall, but nothing other than that.
The symbols are wiggling. Are they changing, or are they static? Is the little X thing just dancing, or is it?
Well, some of them look very similar to things in her notebooks.
Mm-hmm. Does it look like her handwriting?
Maybe. I mean, the symbols are pretty much, they're not like font. It's not like a font.
Right. And we don't recognize any of it from when we were skimming Der Vermis Mysterious.
Oh, no. But since Dr. Ethan is up close, Dr. Ethan, do a spot hidden roll.
Oh, no. 70. 55. Too much to spend.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to start open. Teleport. How do you say open in Latin?
Openos.
Yeah,
I know.
openos.
Mundo Leviosa.
Chubnigurov. What are we?
Dr. Ethan, do a luck roll then. You try saying open sesame.
37.
Yeah, nothing happens.
I want to walk to the end of the cave and listen. I want to hear make sure we're not making too much noise or.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Okay, just making sure.
Get some water, sprinkle some water on the wall.
Okay.
Does there appear to be any stains like blood or anything?
Nope.
The letters are in black,
Yes.
but I can't smear them.
No.
And they're moving away from when you put they move away.
It's rather difficult to even touch where one is because it seems to slip out from under your fingers.
Even if you make a cup shape like this and try to trap one.
Yeah, no, yeah. They then just pass underneath your hands.
Race the
If we
triangle.
throw some of the salt at it.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Ethan has some of that in his pocket.
Yeah, take a
me
little
some.
out.
Okay. I would like the Dr. Ethan, everybody but Dr. Ethan, to do a luck roll. Lots of luck rolls. Sorry, right now.
Very lucky.
39 is a pass.
Fail.
It's like, ah.
Okay.
Got my face.
Dr. Margaret, you passed.
Mhm.
So when Dr. Ethan throws his stuff at the wall and it sort of puffs out against the wall, you don't taste it, but the other two do. And it tastes like salt. Kind of with an odd metallic sort of flavor.
Nothing that makes the toxicology education in me respond.
Well, there are some toxic salts. It's just not possible to tell at this point. Doesn't smell like almonds, so it doesn't have any smell at all. Maybe a little like ashes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is it granular or powdery?
No, it's pretty fine powder, like flour.
I'm just gonna see if there's any kind of door frame or like not door frame, but you know, like just kind of trying anything at this point. Reaching up to see if I feel something. Is there a difference? Do I feel wind? Do I feel like an air current? Do I?
Okay. Do an idea roll.
I was thinking.
48, just a regular success.
Okay. You get the distinct feeling that you're probably not going to be able to figure this out. You're frustrated.
Yeah.
She must have some kind of command word.
Okay,
or
so what else do
something.
we do? What do we just try to get some glass and stab her eyes out at this point?
No, but we can go back and
Her glowing
study
green
that.
eyes.
Study those damn books and see if there's some sort of. We're missing a component or
The
something.
longer we stay here,
I want
worse
you
things are
guys
gonna
to
get.
get out of here. I'm saying if we get caught doing this, it could be very bad for all of us. Or we could bide a little time and try and get out.
Well, we're not gonna. Are we gonna actually put the lock on the cage when we're done?
No,
We've given up. Because
I
then she's
think-
gonna know we weren't caged. Oh, but you're hoping that she'll appreciate our slave mentality. She
and
might.
I could even say I talked them out of trying something, even not to make myself look good, but just to make it believable. I want you guys to go. I want you to tell Jade something for me too. But I've made up my mind.
Well, we've only been doing it. I mean, it's gonna still be a while until she wakes up. I'm not done. I haven't given up yet.
I don't say to give up. I just don't want to get caught and suffer.
Has there been any place where is there any place we haven't seen the ceiling? Maybe Jenny went up.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, if we figured out this is what she was doing.
ceilings in caves are pretty convoluted, so
yeah.
You haven't seen any hole big enough for Jenny to go through up in the ceiling. So.
If there's something here and there's something like this up in her garage, and then the other doctor said she appeared up at the top of the ridge, and she has to go up and get the groceries and all of the other stuff that she gets delivered to the house. Like when she ordered pizza for us a week ago, she had to get it somehow.
Yeah.
This is the doorway, but we're just not smart enough to figure it out.
Let's see if I can
Smart
find
enough.
some of her
I
notebooks.
believe we are smart enough. We just don't know
Yeah.
specific.
Just to turn a phrase, you know.
Yeah, she got some notebooks around because we found the book, but
she has lots of them.
All right. Are they like organized by date or subject?
Yeah.
Desmond, you've had the most interaction with the mother creature thing. Maybe it's only activated through something maybe the milk, or you have that crystal on you. Maybe wave the crystal.
Yeah, I can try to touch the writing with the yellow crystal.
Okay.
Does it squirm away just as much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wall remains solid.
Can't believe I wasted an 01. The next one was a 96, though, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah. I'm going to look for a notebook that's kind of dated about the time she disappeared. That's what I'm going to.
Okay.
So.
You in fact find stuff from back then, kind of in a pile.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's completely lost interest in those records. She's moved on since then. You find very interesting little biology things, stuff that she was working on at Don Biozyme at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Some rather interesting. Go ahead and do you have a biology roll? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, do a biology roll.
Biologist. A hard
success. So you've gone back into the lab and you're looking at her stuff. What I'll get to you in a second. What are the rest of you doing?
I want to say the name Noel and see if that does anything.
No, nothing happens. I was just debating whether I should make you do a luck roll and then just tell you no.
Well, we rolled an 01 on the luck, and that didn't work. So
yeah, it would still be no.
So we're just looking through notebooks at this point. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I'll father Heather over there and flip through looking for symbols that look like the symbols on the wall.
Okay. All right. Well, let me answer Desmond. Desmond, as you're doing that, you do find symbols that do look similar to the ones on the wall, but not in any particular group. And you're starting to think that it's a language, and maybe that says something on the wall, but this doesn't say what that says. It's just another language that's being used.
But it's being used as a language in the notebook.
Not
like two symbols and then some English description of what they are.
No, nothing like that. There's no language key, but it'll be mathematical symbols with these odd little symbols written in every once in a while that you have no idea what they mean. It's like she's used them in place of certain calculations, maybe, and some of them look very alchemical, like things that you'd see in, ancient, or not ancient, but medieval Europe and stuff like that. Some odd looking things.
Maybe the Migo have to use some Migo language for their math.
Maybe. It did seem when Dr. Quiz was here that they had been discussing at times. Obviously, it seemed like they were continuing a conversation they've had in the past. So, Dr. Mills, when you're looking through her earlier stuff, there's a couple of moments in there where you're like, well, wait, this isn't right. If it were possible to do this, then you could possibly reduce the aging process. You start to get the feeling that what she was working on was a kind of a universal anti-agapic that would allow people to live longer or possibly live forever. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of mystical assumptions in here that, about the soul and about weird things like that. But is that what the hell she was working on? Someone who wants to live forever? Immortality in a jar?
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
But yeah, the more you read it, the more you get that idea.
Jenny was weird. Still is.
I mean, there's actual references to the Philosopher's Stone.
Right, yeah. Okay.
The rest of you, at least in part, it looks like gobbledygook. Dr. Leash probably understands it a little bit better. But the newer journals are definitely filled with all kinds of references in odd books and little strange symbols and diagrams that she's drawing. Can't quite tell what she's up to.
Okay.
So I think that because you guys are quiet at the moment, that you've become incredibly frustrated, and your only choice now is to just go to bed.
Yeah.
And maybe take this up again tomorrow night, but there's nothing that you're able to do at this point.
Right. Yeah.
So eventually you drift back into your cage. Did you decide to leave it unlocked?
I think I think we just pull it shut and, not lock it. And then if she goes, oh, it was unlocked. Yeah, but we don't want to escape. If she doesn't notice, then we don't say anything.
Okay.
That's what Heather thinks.
All right. Well, in fact, as the morning routine begins and you guys wake up, and eventually you see, Jenny sort of gets up and she comes into the room and she starts fiddling with things for a few moments and then pulls out the key and walks over towards you and sees that it's unlocked, and she just sort of looks surprised. And she's like, your cage wasn't locked.
Nope.
You could have escaped. Why are you still in the cage?
An attractive giant, aliens, and a dog boy, and a talking dog? I'm not going anywhere.
There is a lot to learn here.
Well,
Creature habit. Sleep in the same spot.
Well, perhaps we can work more closely together then. And she says she opens up the cage and she takes the lock, which was sort of hanging there, and puts the key in the lock and hangs it over to the side. And you get the funny impression that she's never going to touch the lock again. In fact, she says, I've got an idea. And she takes you out to that large cave area that Dr. Liege explored and found that it went nowhere, up in the very beginning of the cave. And she says, maybe we can make this into a room for you, and you don't have to stay in that cell.
That would be much more comfortable. Much more humane.
So she says, that's what we'll do. I mean, as long as you're willing to stay here and not run away, then we can do that.
Well,
I've got a lot of studying to do after all.
She says, yeah, I think if there's anything that you need, I'll see what I can do to provide it. And now that we're on the same page.
Much appreciated. What's for breakfast? Why don't you join us?
She's like, oh, I'm not hungry, but I'll fix you something. Eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. She's actually a pretty decent cook. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the most important thing at this point. Oh, she says to you, oh, and I have a surprise for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes and lifts up her arms like this, and you notice that these bags are no longer bags that are there. They seem to have sloughed off, and she has two more arms that are about your size. I mean, they're smaller. And you can see that the fingers are a little longer and thinner. And she's like, I should be able to handle smaller, more delicate things than I have been now that I have 2 regular-sized arms. Everybody do spot hidden.
Yeah.
And the sanity.
I failed.
Pass the spot hidden.
I failed.
I have
By
a hard success.
Okay.
I think it will be hard too.
Dr. Heather and Dr. Desmond, well, Dr. Margaret and Dr. Carlisle, you know where the breakfast stuff is. I mean, you guys have all sort of gotten into a routine of helping her. But as she's like doing this, you've kind of turned and started to walk towards that. And Dr. Mills and Dr. Flores, you notice as she sort of does this, that she has eyeballs in the centers of her hands, her little hands. You can do a sand roll, and we'll stop right there.
That fail on the sand roll.
I just passed it. It's still gonna hurt.
All right. So if you passed it, just take 1 point of damage, and if you failed it, do 1d2. Just roll a 1d4 and then cut it in half.
Yep, just one.
Yeah, she has eyeballs in the middle.
Yeah.
Of her.
Same color as these,
Okay.
or heterochromia for fun.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Which I think will be good because now Dr. Leash can come back and you're still prisoners. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly. Well, he wasn't here tonight, but he will be next week. Keith Craig, Jason Melanchok, and David Gassaway with yours truly as the Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.